strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Welcome back, everyone. We've got some Splinterlands news to cover. There is a new update coming next week that is going to improve the new reward system. When they first released this, they said this was the MVP version. They use that term a lot. It's the minimum viable product. Basically, get it out there, make sure it works, and then see how the community handles it, how people play it, how they try to abuse the system, whatever the case is, and then make adjustments to it. So we're fairly quickly seeing some new adjustments, and I personally love these adjustments. So let's go take a look real quick. This should be a pretty short video. I'll see if I can actually make a video short for once. So here we go. The new ranked rewards update. There are 2 updates that will go into effect on Tuesday, June 28th, so we can see right there, Tuesday, June 28th. First one is daily focus chests will be based on the current league. This is something I was pushing for really hard. I'm glad they're going to put this in. What that means is that if you start your focus, your 24-hour focus period in gold, you are going to earn gold chests. It does not matter where you finished the previous season, where you were at the day before. It doesn't matter. So you're going to be earning or trying to earn chests that are appropriate for your current league. And we had a bunch of people complaining, and rightfully so, about whenever they would, okay, maybe gold was your highest league you'd finish in, but then you drop down to silver to start the next season, right? Earning gold chest in silver was pretty tough. Maybe if you didn't have enough power, maybe you dropped down to silver before the end of the season and then fell all the way down to bronze. Earning chest 2 leagues below your league was nearly impossible. So that was really tough. And it would be kind of rough. People would go from earning their chest in, again, we're just using an example, but earning their chest in gold, falling back to silver. And a lot of times they were still actually getting value. You can actually argue that this is a reward nerf, because in most situations, not all situations, but in most situations, it is better to be going to the higher league chest. They have more value on average, but that was just average. And those averages are skewed by some of the top pulls that you could get. So, I mean, for example, just today, I pulled a gold foil legendary from 3 champion chests. All I got was 3. But, I mean, I was kind of feeling frustrated throughout the season, as I would get, okay, I'd get my 5 or 6 champion chests, and what would they usually have in them? A small amount of DEC, some potions, common reward cards were the most common thing we pull. Those are worth like 1 or 2 cents right now. So, my most common pulls were the same most common pulls as the lower leagues. So it was actually pretty frequent that somebody getting bronze or silver chest would get a better daily focus than I would. But the advantage of those higher league chests is that when you do hit that top pull, not even necessarily an extremely rare pull, but even just the higher amounts of DEC, those would offset the averages, and you'd be better off getting those higher league chests, absolutely. But it didn't feel that way. It certainly didn't feel that way when you had to rely on those bigger hits, and maybe you'd go a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever the case is, without actually hitting one based on your RNG. So earning the chest at your current league is going to allow people to earn more chests before they climb up to the same league they were at last season. Again, those chests are going to be worth less on average, but people like to get more chests, and it feels better when you get more chests. And I think it's going to make people feel like their rewards are better. It's going to be more player friendly. And again, it's not necessarily going to mean better overall rewards on average, but it's going to feel better for most players. So I really like that change. I think that's going to improve the perception of the new reward system. Again, I'm not sure it's going to improve everybody's actual rewards, but it will improve perception of rewards, which is arguably more important. So, okay, I spent a while on that one. So now on to the second one, which I actually hadn't seen proposed personally, but I absolutely love it, and that is that the starter card reduction formula is going to change. Previously, they cut your rewards, your points that you earned based on the percentage of starter cards that you used. So if you use, so they're going to use this example. If you used 1 out of 4 starter cards, your points would be cut 25%. So if you previously earned 1,000, it would cut down to 750. So now what they're doing is they're taking that percent and multiplying it by the rating instead of the final number. And that's a big difference because the rating is cubed in this formula. So cutting 25% of the rating cuts much more than 25% of the rewards. They go through this example where, like, previously, under the previous formula, the starter cards, using 1 out of 4 starter cards would get this person 750 points. Now it gets 421. And that's a significant cut. And so this is going to further penalize those players or those accounts that are using starter cards. You have a lot of bots, you have a lot of people particularly using the untamed starter cards because those are more expensive. Chaos starter cards are actually pretty cheap. So I think a lot of people are getting those. They're very cheap to rent. The untamed ones are a little more scarce. And there's a lot of accounts still using those untamed, like your Unicorn Mustang. A lot of accounts still use the Unicorn Mustang to help win battles, but you're just using it as a starter card. It's pretty effective as a starter card. This is going to further penalize that. So it rewards ownership and renting more, and I think that's good. I think that's good for the game. So those are the two that will go into effect next week. I absolutely love them. I have no complaints there. I think those are going to be great. I love the next part as well. They talk about some future changes. So these have not been finalized yet, but they're just giving us a preview of what they expect to come. First is new daily focuses. Matt's talked about this before. They are going to add more focuses beyond just the splinters. So they're going to add 10 to 15. That's going to put us up to about 20, 21 different focuses, up to 21. So 16 to 21. Currently we have 6. So they're going to use abilities like sneak. So a player has to use one card that has either sneak, snipe, or opportunity. So they're grouping sneak and snipe together, it looks like, in opportunity. Again, that's not necessarily finalized, but that's kind of what it's looking like there. So that's going to be a big change. And let's go ahead and cover the next one here because I kind of want to react to both of these together. Then the daily focus mechanic update. They are considering. So not finalized, but they're considering changing it so that the daily points are not all or nothing. Currently, if you use your focus splinter, you get all the points, all your focus points as daily points. If you don't use your splinter, you get 0. So now they're considering it changing, which again, I absolutely love this. They're considering changing it so that if you win, you always get points, assuming you're not using 100% starter cards or whatever the case is, or playing at 0% ECR. But in general, you're always getting points for your daily chest, to earn towards your daily chest. You just get a bonus if you use that focus. And it doesn't mention what the bonus is. This was one of my favorite suggestions that had been thrown out there, and what I personally liked was having it be a huge bonus, like 2 times the rewards or something like that. So it's clearly advantageous to use your focus, but you don't necessarily have to, and you don't have to force it every time. So what I'm very curious about that there is, okay, if you have a life focus, so it gives the example, if you have a life focus, if you don't use life but get a win, you'll still get some points, but if you do use life and get a win, you'll receive bonus points. What I want to know is, are you still guaranteed to have life every single time? Because the other change I want to come with this personally, again, my personal opinion, I have no idea what the team is thinking here. I didn't even know these were coming out today. But I would like you not to be guaranteed a single splinter as your focus. So that players can't just go rent, okay, we got a life focus, I'm going to go rent all life cards and I can completely ignore everything else and I'm just going to play life cards and I can still go compete because I know I'm going to get life every single time. Because what I worry about this change right here, if that doesn't happen, if you can still get life every single time or whatever your splinter is, it might reward multi-accounting. Because it's going to be much harder to go rent if it's sneak, sniper, opportunity. It's going to be harder to go rent because you have to be prepared to play multiple different splinters. You're not going to be guaranteed a single splinter to play. So if you go rent all life cards, you might not be able to play life. And that I like that you have to be prepared, and it rewards having multiple splinters. It doesn't necessarily dilute the rental market because people would just go rent life they'd rent life in and then they'd rent out all their other 5 focuses. Even if they did have a balanced deck, they'd rent out the 5 and rent in 1. Then you get the rental market and you can still play to your Splinter. So I personally would like to cut down on that, because if that's still advantageous to have a single Splinter focus, then if you do the math, if you refresh every time you don't have a single Splinter focus, so there are 5 of those. Dragon doesn't really count because that doesn't lock in a single Splinter. It locks in Dragon, but you have to have the other cards to play it. But if we say that 5, I think the math is nearly 50% of the time. If it's 5 out of 20, if you refresh, if you don't get your a single Splinter, given 2 shots, essentially, you have about a 50% chance to get it. So it might encourage multi accounts. If the single Splinter focuses are still advantageous, you could have multiple accounts set up, and okay, this one I didn't roll a single Splinter focus. Well, let's just move on to the next account, and we're going to roll it on this one. Oh, we didn't get it on this one. Let's move to the next one. Oh, we got life on this one. Let's delegate all our cards to life, or let's go rent on life for this account, and then we'll go play and we'll drain our ECR down to 50% or 40% or whatever the case is. And that way, if we don't get it tomorrow, we can just let the account sit there and still generate ECR. So that kind of gets into a separate problem as well, with how you can play 4 days worth of ECR in 1 day and let it recover. That also encourages multi-accounts. I think that's something that needs to be fixed. That's getting a lot more attention lately, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if something comes to change that in the not too distant future as well. I don't know specifically what they might be doing, but just with the amount of traction that's starting to get, I wouldn't be surprised if that changes. So that's kind of a combination of problems there. But that's my hope, is that with this daily focus, that if you get a life Splinter, you're still not guaranteed to have life, because you can still earn points even if you don't play life. And again, that might be a more controversial opinion. I don't know, but that's my personal thought on the issue. Then we get down here to season rentals. So this is, as it says, not directly related to the reward system, but just in general, they're looking at implementing a season rental option. So when you do a season rental, the card would be rented out for the rest of the season. Neither the renter nor the owner would be allowed to cancel that until the end of the season. So that's been a common request, and I think people are going to like that. Will it get utilized? I don't know. If it's still more profitable to rent out on a daily basis, then owners are going to rent out on a daily basis, and that option won't even be available to renters. So I don't know. I'm not sure how that's going to work. Well, I like it being put in as an option, right? I don't see a negative to that. Like I said, if renters view it as or if owners view it as a negative and don't want to use it, then don't use it. If renters view it as a negative and don't want to use it, they don't have to use it. So it would be very interesting to see how many people opt to use that option. One of the biggest advantages of that as an owner is that you don't have to manage your rentals manually. You can manage it to get the season price rented, and then you're done. You can rent out, if you want to rent out all your cards for the season, rent them all out 1 day, rent them for the season, you're done. You don't have to manage anything. We're starting to see more third-party tools, though, that automate that rental process for owners, so they don't have to actually manage it anyways. That's how mine are done. I don't handle any, I don't cancel my rentals individually. There's an automated program that if my price is too low or whatever, it'll cancel it and increase the price, and I don't have to do anything with it. So a lot of people, I feel like, are just going to continue to use that, and it's going to do whatever is most profitable. But so again, I don't know. I'm not sure what type of impact it'll have, but I do like the option. I don't see anything. I don't personally see anything negative that would come out of that. So I think this is a good step. I'm excited about this. This addresses some of the issues that we had, some of the major complaints, and I thought the current, what we have now, was certainly better than the previous reward system, and now they're upgrading it. So I think this is going to be great. I have no complaints here. I'm sure some people will, but my personal opinion is I love it. I absolutely love it, and I'm excited. The first 2 will come out on Tuesday. These future changes, we're not sure when they'll come out, but I don't think they're going to be too far down the line. I think it'll be somewhat soon, like weeks or so. I don't think it's like, okay, 4 months down the line we're doing this. I think it'll be pretty soon, but I don't know exact dates or even estimates or anything like that. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts below. Do you think this is better? Are you more excited about it? And let me know what your thoughts on how, if you rent, how would you approach things differently for either the season rentals or the daily focuses? How is that going to change everything? I'm very interested to see what happens as these come out and how the market adjusts. So anyways, thank you guys so much. We had some great live streams this week, lots of giveaways, all sorts of fun. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you get notified of those. Go to my Discord as well. You can set up custom alerts so you guys get notified whenever I stream on whether you like it YouTube, Twitch, whatever the case is. So I'll see you guys there. Thanks a ton.